everyone. Welcome to the next episode of Language Talks. We have with us today a Portuguese language teacher from Goa who has several years of experience teaching Portuguese at school, college, and university level. Let us talk to her and learn about her journey. Hi, Munira.
Good evening, ma'am.
Welcome to the show.
Yes, welcome. Thank you, miss.
I would like to asking you what inspired you to take up Portuguese?
I took up this language as in we speak Portuguese at home. So the basics was already with it when we were small. So then as we got an opportunity in the eighth standard to start learning it, so then we took it as another language after learning three languages, that is English, Hindi and Konkani. So then I said, why not try a foreign language? So then I took it up in the eighth. Then I continued with it till my graduation, and then I did an MA in it. On this journey, then I saw that I have the ability to even, I should teach my friends difficulties in the language, how to do the verbs. So then I said, why not give it a try even in teaching? So this has been my journey of how I became a teacher.
Oh, that's great. Munira, you are teaching at different levels like school, college, university. So, how do you adapt your teaching methods when you are addressing different students?
Basically, it's not only because it's not only school, college, or university. Every batch of your students are different. You need to understand your students in that particular batch, whether how they want to learn this new language, because for everybody this is it's like the fourth language, not even third, because third becomes Konkani in school, which is
Right.
sometimes is your mother tongue, which is your third language. In our case also it was the same thing, because we speak English, Konkani, then Portuguese came. So it is based on students. So if your students are of a particular level, then you incorporate a faster learning process with them. It shouldn't be only one way. You should let the students talk. You should engage in your students in knowing where the difficulty lies. And as you're teaching, you should tell them that all languages are important, not only Portuguese or not only English. It should be seen globally, because basically language links us together. Whichever language you know, it's always a added feather to your cap. So so it is not, there is no strategy as such of teaching. It depends on the batch that you get. So once I had a batch where I had, in Xavier's, I was teaching BBA students, wherein they do travel and tourism. But the thing is that I got students who were from the Arab country, so they did not know English
Oh,
properly. And I had to teach them Portuguese, the third language, in terms of Hindi. So I was like glad I know Hindi, so I
my
could
God.
put those
Yes.
concepts in them. So that's why I say it's multiple languages, helps you better to grow also as a person.
Huh, right. What are some challenges you have faced while teaching Portuguese at different educational levels? Like you mentioned Arabic, people studying
Hmm.
with you just now, but
Yeah.
there must be many more, I guess.
Challenges basically comes when you have students who are, they're insighted. They don't know whether they should take the language or no. This part of is very challenging, because sometimes you have parents who say, no, no, don't do languages, do science. There's nothing in arts. So I'll talk in languages in global. Any language, okay, be it Portuguese, French, or even any other language, foreign language you're learning.
Hmm.
They say there's no scope. Mat karo, don't study. So that should not be that should not be the push that the parents,
Attitude.
yeah, the attitude. They should encourage
Hmm.
their child to learn whichever language it may be, at whatever level. Like I have seen some students coming to me after they finish graduation, asking if there's a course in French, or if there's a course in Portuguese happening. Then I send them to Alliance Process, or I send them to Institute
Oh.
Camões, where they teach Portuguese. So you
Hmm.
shouldn't tell that there is no scope. Don't do this. What will you do by learning a language? That shouldn't be the attitude. So that is the challenge that we are facing.
Okay. Okay. So, what role does cultural context play in teaching Portuguese language? What do you think?
Culture plays a very important role, because being
Okay.
Goans, our culture
Mhm.
and Portuguese culture has its own has a very nice fusion between the two. Keeping
Okay.
history aside, history has good and bad. We'll not talk about that. But keeping that aside, culture plays in, because if you don't know the culture of Goa, then learning the language is just like learning any other language. Like for, I'll give an
Mm,
example. Like in our Goan culture, many of our Konkani words have been derived from
mm,
Portuguese. Like we say zonel, in Portuguese it
mm.
is janela. We say colher, which is
Oh,
colher, which means a spoon in both the languages. For example,
oh,
the
okay.
most simplest word, pão, is
Mm,
bread
yeah.
in both languages. So culture plays a very important role in terms of like the words. Then also you need to have even a dressing style. Okay, now I'm a Catholic, so seeing reading about this how our saris were used. Like we have
Mm,
collared saris which have come into fashion again now. So that was brought by them. In terms of
mm,
food, simple batat that we eat, are potatoes that are used that has come from them. So it plays a very
mm.
important role, not only
Yeah,
through language, but overall, the aspect.
overall, right. And there are so many similarities, like you mentioned POW and
Yeah.
school. Yeah, that's interesting. Could you share an interesting aspect of Portuguese culture or history that you integrate into your teaching?
Um, Portuguese culture and history basically now since I'm teaching in the university, so we integrate poetries, writing,
Okay.
literature. So those are the aspects that you need to know the history of how what was the what happened during those times, why those things
Mm,
happened. So then music and dance, Armandos. So when we are
yeah.
teaching this to like now in the university, we have students that come from other states, Bihar especially, Delhi, who they don't have a clue, especially of a simple zatra, I will say. The zatras
Okay.
that happen, they don't know what is a zatra because they've never heard of this word. So then you have to
Mm,
tell them, go back to history, tell them how this has come about, what is the meaning of it. So it plays a very
mm,
important role in shaping. Like some people are just stunned with the concepts. Like I have a student from Punjab, and she doesn't know the
mhm.
meaning. Like she was like very curious to know what is salvation, moksha.
Okay.
So
Right.
those things. So we because we're teaching them plays which talk about this. So it becomes very
Okay.
important
Yeah.
to tell them the background and then link the subject to it, especially in the MA, BA level. At school levels, it's just
Okay.
grammar, so it's easier to talk. But
Right.
when they want to do
Right.
a profession, when they want to do the bachelorettes or the MAs, then they need to know the culture. Otherwise, it doesn't sink in.
Yeah. I mean, literature and language go hand in hand
Go
together.
hand in glove,
So,
correct?
and history, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Right. There are many regional differences within the Portuguese language, like, for example, European Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese. Am I right?
Yes.
So, how do you address this while teaching?
Starting, we teach the European Portuguese that is spoken in
Okay.
Portugal. Okay. And then we
Mhm.
tell them that there are variants in Portuguese, like the Brazilian Portuguese. We give them example of words, of how they write it. But the main,
Mhm.
like, it is simple, it is same, similar like Konkani. We have Konkani that is taught to us in Devanagari. Then we have our Romi. Then we have the way we
Mhm.
speak our Konkani in the north and south. So if you have
Okay.
so when
Mhm.
I have one students, it's very easy to put through them the culture. When you have students that
Mhm.
come from out of state who have learned just one way of studying, then you show them the different types of words. Like for example, in Portugal, a simple bus is called autocarro, but in Brazil it's called
Mhm.
ônibus. So,
Oh,
but the
okay.
meaning is the same. Like then the way they pronounce the words are different. So we show them clips, of how it is spoken because even our
Mhm.
way of speaking Portuguese in Goa differs from how they
Mhm.
speak it in Portugal because
Mhm.
our accent also comes with the Konkani accent.
Right.
So it is
Mhm.
not very, it's not that we speak like them. No, our,
Mhm.
our regional language also plays because we have to speak Konkani normally
Right.
in the for example in the market, so then you have that with your friends because not all everybody speaks English in schools, so So to make your circle also, we have to speak our regional language. We cannot forget that we have a regional language. So our pronunciation, the way we frame our sentences, also plays a makes our Portuguese different. Like I'll give a simple example. What our wedding songs? If you have been to any Catholic wedding, we play one set of Portuguese songs. But those, if you play these
Okay.
songs in Portugal for a wedding, it is outdated. It is like they don't play it anymore. It is they play when they are kids, when they're like 5 to 6 years. We are playing for
Oh,
we are playing it in a wedding to celebrate the thing. Even our songs which have got Portuguese Konkani mix, it sounds so nice. It shows our culture. So you should not say that there are barriers. I wouldn't say it is different. It is one, but it is
okay.
differentiated along the way.
Okay. Okay. That is interesting. Munira, how would you highlight the importance of learning Portuguese in this globalized world?
Portuguese has a very good scope because it's one in it ranks in the first to the 10 speaking languages in the world today. If I'm not mistaken,
Okay.
it's either ninth or eighth. Okay. So
Oh.
there's lots of scope. There are lots of companies that want to hire people who speak the
Mhm.
language. There are
Okay.
many companies who want to hire people who speak Portuguese with our regional language or our Indian languages like Hindi and Portuguese who can do the translations. Then there are companies MNCs who want to hire us. Then there is a big demand for translators, either interpreters or even to translate subtitles, movies. So there's lots of scope. There is scope in the teaching line as well, in my line as well. There is in terms of lawyers because Goa, every
Oh,
document is documented in Portuguese. So you need to
is
know the
it? Okay.
language, read.
Right.
With the language, if you can do the course of handwriting, because
Mhm.
the initial archives are written in a different handwriting, right? So if you can transcribe that, it is even better.
Hmm.
So the scope is
Okay.
wide, but people are not aware.
Mhm.
The problem is that they're like,
Mhm.
why do you want to study languages? I won't say only Portuguese, but any other language. Why do you need to study a language? Even
Mhm.
if you say even like people should even study, I say Konkani Marathi because the scope is tremendous. And if you have a combination
Tremendous.
Portuguese and Konkani or Portuguese Marathi, it is very nice. You can do lots of
Mhm.
work in translation field, especially.
I see. This is interesting. Have
Yes.
you noticed any significant shifts in the way Portuguese was taught before or perceived before and how it is perceived now or taught now?
There is a difference in terms that there's a downfall of students who are opting the language, who are taking it in the
I see.
schools and high
Okay.
secondaries. Compared to my time when I completed my graduation to now, that is
Hmm.
the student ratio is falling because many of the
Okay.
schools find it difficult to have a teacher. Okay, because some of the teachers who are recruited also are past the what do you call it past 60 years old, so they've crossed, so they're
Mhm.
senior citizens. Then there are many schools
Right.
who do not want to give it only because the demand of students are less. Because when the
Mhm.
child is seventh standard, they just said don't take any language, continue with Konkani Marathi only. You have done it for 7 years. Another 3 more years, and you're done with it. Now NEP has come, so then
Oh,
there's a difference in the structure of education. But
correct.
in terms of people are unaware, I would say. Like first, we had lots of Goans who would take this, they choose the
Okay.
subject, even Portuguese,
Mhm.
French, both. But now somehow I don't know why, but there's a shift in I think lack of awareness, if I can put it, for people to
Mhm.
choose. Like in the
Ah.
university levels also, people are not opting to study the language to do
Oh,
the
okay.
PhD. So we have to try to get them, like, tell Baba, there is a BA open in the university. Please come and join. There is MA also. Please come and join.
Mhm.
And then people
Mhm.
ask, why? Then what will they do? So to these people, I will ask you to psych. I'm not against any person doing any other thing, but doing psychology or doing
Huh.
engineering, then what do you do? Same thing. It's like another, you can ask also, then what? Like we have so many engineers who have left engineering and gone into many other things like banking or
Mhm.
event. So why not take
Correct.
Portuguese? Secondly,
Right.
if you have, if like I had seen lots of students in the science
Mhm.
field, like 11th and 12th science. The option for
Okay.
language is much more. But
Mm.
once they finish 11th and 12th,
Mm.
then there's no scope for them to study. They don't
Mm.
have it in their professional colleges. So why not introduce it there
Well,
as well? So it keeps like,
yes.
it makes them to de-stress. Like I know some people who like
Um,
languages, who want,
correct.
they're tired of doing engineering, or medicine. It's like a lighter
Right.
paper, like for them to
Mm.
introduce like just a grammar paper when they can de-stress themselves. And
Mm.
also
Correct.
when they have this thing in their resumes, they can also apply for jobs, because there are many companies
Mm.
in Africa who are looking out for engineers,
Okay.
that they
Mm.
want people to, at least if even tuta futa broken Portuguese, at least you'll communicate more and you'll get the job.
Okay.
Then you can become whatever. You can take up a course
Correct.
online, and but this
Mm.
initial thing should start. Otherwise, I don't know what will happen to languages.
I'm sure there may have been many memorable moments in your teaching career. So, can you share one of them with us?
Moments are like every batch brings one moment or the other that you have, which you enjoy in class with them. Like when I was teaching in Our Lady of Rosary in Donapal, I used to
Mhm.
enjoy
Okay.
taking them for these extracurricular activities. Like we have singing
Mm.
competitions, Venkantar, or there are competitions. We used to have competitions in Xavier's, like drawing, painting,
Mhm.
stage play, role plays. Wherein not you don't only sit and write the language like one to one, and you put it into practice. You say a dialogue, or you act it out, because there are many students who are very creative in that manner. When I was
Mm.
in Xavier's, it was organizing those events that I would enjoy with them. Make them
Mm.
go up on stage, compare. I would be like taken the back seat and push them in front to do all these things, so that they know how to further. The stage fear breaks.
Correct.
You are comfortable in speaking the language. Okay, wrong then wrong. Who's there to judge? You're
Mm.
all there to learn only. It's a platform. School education, MA, BA, it's all platform for learning only. Now
Correct.
when I reached university, we have different subjects wherein I made them. I've taught history students English, Portuguese. I mean to
Okay.
say, wherein it was like a
Oh.
GE paper, an optional paper. So they were very reluctant in speaking. So I told them, no, 20 marks, you have to role play. You are put in a
Mhm.
restaurant, now talk, speak. So it makes the child also interested in learning the language. You
Mhm.
engage their attention, so they come for a part two with you. So then the language doesn't die. Then you have
Mhm.
songs, you have dance. So you need to, like, I have a student who likes to write as well. So she writes beautiful
Oh.
stories. In class I had a story competition wherein you write the story and you
Mhm.
present it. You have to read it out, because many students fear this. And then when they go to
Mhm.
the whichever line, I mean, they have to go on stage or talk face to face. Then they're very shy. They are very reluctant, apprehensive to go in front. So then I'm like, no, this is your time. Now it's only me and like maybe 13 or 14, 20 of us. Later on, it'll be an entire hall, or auditorium where you need to speak and prove yourself. So let's start this icebreaker now. So there are many moments like this. It's difficult to name one.
I'm sure because the more the batches, more the students, more the memories, I think.
Yeah.
It was a great discussion, Munira. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Which other languages do you like in addition
Oh,
to Portuguese and Hindi?
I did French a bit when I was
Mhm.
studying, because we could opt for it. So I learned a little of French, but I can't speak. I can write, because my Portuguese overshadows the pronunciation of French.
Okay.
Uh, then I had tried studying German online on Golingo,
Mhm.
but then
Okay.
again, you need someone to practice the language, because if you're saying it right or wrong,
Mhm.
you have to pick it up right. So these are also
Correct.
basically I know English, Hindi, Konkani, obviously, Portuguese, and a bit of
Mhm.
French. So
Oh,
these,
that's nice.
yeah, there were opportunities to learn other languages, but then family, this, that you cannot. You need to
That's right.
you need to give time also for the language. Otherwise,
Yes.
there's
And
no point
language is serious business. We cannot
in
do it side by side. Yeah.
side by side. So it's nice. I would, if I get a chance to learn. There was Italian in the university once, but then lockdown came, so I could
Mhm.
never enroll myself. So it's better to go face to face when you have a teacher, because then you can discuss your doubts or how to use the particular sentence. So it is nice. I like to learn languages. And you can communicate with more people. The more languages you know, it's a better
Communication.
opportunity. Yeah.
Yes. Munira, can I request you to recite a poem for us, Portuguese, so we get a
Yeah.
feel of the language?
Yes, I'll recite a poem by Vimala Devi. The name of the
Okay.
poem is Agora. Okay.
Mhm.
Agora és a sombra a flautar. As águas do Mandovi agora. Só me resta sonhar. Deita-me contam histórias tristes. O teu abandonado. Aos ventos da emoção com está a dura realidade. A queimar-me por dentro. Ó minha casa à beira do Mandovi. Busco-te com ansiedade. Em todas as casas onde entro. It's basically speaking about the Mandovi River and what is happening
Okay.
now at the moment. So
I see.
é sombra a sombra a flutuar. So it is the shadows that is floating. As águas do Mandovi on the Mandovi River, on the waters of the Mandovi
Okay.
River. Agora, that
Okay.
is now. Só me resta sonhar. I only need to dream. Deita-me conta histórias tristes. It tells me about the sad stories. O teu abandonado, the one who has left you abandoned. Aos ventos da monção, the winds of monsoons. Com esta dura realidade, with this true reality, que queimar-me por dentro, which burns me within. O minha casa à beira do Mandovi, or my house, which is near the Mandovi River. Busco-te com ansiedade. I search for you with anxiously. Em todas as casas on enter, with in all the houses where you enter. So basically she's very sad. She's searching for someone she's looking for, standing on the Mandovi River.
Oh, that's so sweet. Okay. Thank you so much for reciting and also telling the meaning of the poem. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for joining, Munira. It was lovely talking to you about the Portuguese and understanding your approach of teaching.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
My
you for
pleasure.
joining and have a good day.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am. You too.
Thank
Bye,
you.
ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Thank you so much for joining me in conversation with Munira. See you in the next episode with a new guest to learn about his or her journey. Till then, have a good day. Bye bye.